welcome back to another episode of Why I Hate This Movie. I'm your host, Eric Rios, with my co-host and my heterosexual life mate, Danny Newton. Say hi, Danny.
Hello, Derek. How are you?
I'm great. Today we're going to be talking about... Actually, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing a comparison. It's not really so much as a breakdown. We're going to be comparing the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot with the new reboot that came out this year in 2021.
Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Ghostbusters Afterlife. Because one of these movies I really enjoyed. Yes.
One of them I did really enjoy.
The other one, not so much.
You watched me watch this movie. I didn't laugh one time during 2016. The only time I laughed during the 2016 Ghostbusters is when I was laughing at you chuckling at something.
I know there's this whole thing where, it's all female. If you don't like it, you're sexist.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were praising this movie, and I didn't get it.
You know that the Rotten Tomato score for the 2016 Ghostbuster, the critic rating, is still higher than the critic rating for Afterlife?
It's insane.
It is.
It's insane.
When it's so obvious which movie is the better movie.
But the thing is, it was like at the start of the Me Too movement.
Yes.
And I really think everyone couldn't give it a negative review because they seem sexist.
Yeah, it would be essentially Hollywood suicide to have.
Yeah.
But
this movie sucked.
Yes.
It had some funny moments. The CGI looked good. But this new one just proves how bad the other one was.
Right.
Because
by far.
The new one, you have the original essence of Ghostbusters, and it gives you all the nostalgia, and it ties everything together really well.
Yeah, not everything lands in Afterlife, but there is enough good stuff in Afterlife that the stuff that doesn't land is very forgivable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very solid movie. Probably one of the better movies I think I've seen this year. And
yeah, for sure.
2016, nothing like it. It went out of its way to just dump on all the source material.
It did, and they even went out of the way to bring in all of the old cast.
Yeah.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Harold. Except for Harold, who's passed.
Yeah.
They brought in all the original cast members, and it was sad.
Yeah.
None of them actually had anything to do with the original character. They didn't tie anything together. They just had cameos.
Right.
And they had little one-liners or just murdered them like Bill Murray.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was a complete disservice.
Yeah. It was infuriating.
Yeah. So they took a dump on Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Which of all the cameos, he had the most screen time of any of the cameos.
Yeah, he had 2 scenes.
Right.
And one was just them murdering him because he didn't believe in ghosts. He was a
skeptic.
He was a skeptic. Yeah.
Right. They had Dan Aykroyd
who knew about ghosts. So it makes you think that this is his character. But now he's just a taxi driver and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's like the apocalypse going on. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. He showed up, blankly read a cue card, and then left.
Yep.
That's exactly what it felt like. Even like the receptionist. Was it Janice, right?
Janice.
Yeah, that's it. Like she showed up as the hotel receptionist, and that's kind of it. Sigourney Weaver was in this as well.
Which they didn't have Sigourney Weaver in Afterlife.
Yeah, they did. She was in a post-credit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Whenever Bill Murray is doing like the psychic reading on the playing cards or whatever.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, she was in the post-credit. Which they had her in this, but she was another scientist person or something like that.
She was in the post-credit scene too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was just some random scientist, and she was Patty. No, Jillian Holtzman, which was Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
It was her.
Is her science mentor person.
Yeah.
And it was just, another wasted cameo. That's all this movie was wasted cameos.
Mm-hmm.
They had cameos from a lot of actors I recognized.
Yeah.
There was one part of this movie, I'm just like, oh my God, that's the dude from Mad TV that played the little kid all the time. Like, look what I can do. Well, right?
Most of the cast is SNL characters.
Yeah, most of them are. Mm-hmm. But God, dude, they're just not funny.
Actually, all the main casts were SNL characters. SNL actors.
Yeah. So basically, the writer / director or whatever of this, by what I gather, just took and had like a rough outline, and it was just like, go improv some scenes.
It definitely felt like, of course, I think that's just the way Melissa McCartney acts.
Yeah.
And with SNL characters, I'm sure they're all pretty used to improv. So I'm sure a lot of the scenes are just kind of them improving. But I don't know. Melissa McCartney can be funny.
Yeah.
She's had some really funny movies, but then in this, she was just
the fucking Statham movie where they were both spies.
Yeah, that one was hilarious. Yeah, she was funny.
But this was just.
I think it's better when she has an R rating involved.
Yeah,
because then she can actually let loose.
Yeah,
and this, all of her, everything just fell short. And then even as Ghostbusters, you had her. And Kristen Wiig's character, who are supposed to be, but they've been studying ghosts for childhood, and they really enjoy it. They're the big scientists, and they've been doing it their whole life. They do nothing the entire movie.
Right.
The only person that does anything was Gillian Holtzman.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon's character. She's the only one that invents anything, makes anything. She does literally everything in the movie that has anything to do with science.
That, and like nobody has any real motivation. That it doesn't feel like anybody has something that they're wanting out of any of this. That and the dialogue was just garbage.
Yeah.
There's so many scenes where they're talking over each other to the point that I don't know what the fuck anybody's talking about. Patty's entire character is just a black lady yelling at me. Like, and there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But it's almost like somebody watched a Tyler Perry movie and was like, man, this is a fucking laugh riot. Like they watched Boo and Medea Halloween and was like, we want you to act like that. And I'm just like, man, this is really not good.
I mean, her character was just really forced into the movie, it felt like.
Yeah. The thing is Ernie Hudson's character in the original Ghostbusters wasn't necessarily a forced character. He's a jobber that showed up.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care as long as it pays cash.
He was
right.
He was a part of the team.
Yeah, he was a part of the team.
Yeah, and he brought value, and I guess she brought the Hearst.
Yeah, but
which they probably could just bought an old cheap Hearst.
Yeah.
But I guess that way they could tie in Ernie Hudson's character, right?
So there's a few scenes in this movie when you compare them to their counterparts in Afterlife.
Mm-hmm.
It really shows you the difference between a good movie and a not a good movie. So whenever you're watching Afterlife and you're watching this movie, one of the biggest scenes for me is when they're introducing the proton packs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In Afterlife, they set up the proton pack and they set up their target. I mean, they're messing around with it and the kids are just like, blast that target. And it's the absolute absurdity of the power level coming out of this thing and just completely obliterating and melting the target out in the middle of this field.
They not only melt the target, it was like a metal structure they stood on and it melts it, which is awesome.
Yeah. It was just the absurdity of how powerful this thing is.
And that's how it should be.
Made me laugh.
It's high voltage. It's like a plasma ray.
It made me giggle with excitement. When you're watching 2016, they set up their target in the alleyway.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, let's just throw Melissa McCarthy around and make fat jokes.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this isn't funny. This is a fucking dangerous weapon she is firing around and it's just going off at random.
There's no real serious element in it.
Right. She could fucking cut her legs off with this thing. She could blast one of you.
I mean,
and y'all are just sitting there watching her.
There's a scene where they're at a metal concert, which this metal band is so garbage.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Anyways, they're just blasting lasers through this crowd of people.
Yeah.
And just right over their heads. And
you should be decapitating everybody in this audience.
Yeah, it's extremely dangerous. And they're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
There's no serious elements in this. Afterlife, they had that. Even when the difference in the two also with the packs is one of them, like everything else, Jillian made.
Yeah.
Jillian created everything.
Right.
In 2016. But in Afterlife, they found the original packs and the ghosts of Harold, or their grandfather in it, actually helps them prepare it.
Yeah.
It's neat. It's interesting. You have this interaction, you have character development, and it's just nothing in 2016.
No, not at all. You had, like you said, the funniest part of 2016 was Hemsworth as their secretary.
That's what I chuckle. I did enjoy Hemsworth.
Honestly, his character is so stupid that I couldn't laugh at him because we're watching a guy who's probably mentally challenged.
Oh yeah, he's definitely slow.
Yeah,
Southern slow.
He should literally be wearing a helmet.
It's sad.
That was
the funny part.
Yeah.
But yeah, his character's so dumb. He shouldn't be able to function as normally.
It would literally be like pointing and laughing at Forrest Gump and saying, "Ha ha ha, he's stupid." It's not funny, not at all.
I still chuckled some of his lines. I just like Chris Hemsworth. But you know, there was a trope in this movie that every male character, and especially with starting with like Kristen Wiig character at the beginning.
Yes,
you see all the academic, all these males around her.
Yes,
every male in this movie was either too dumb to function in society.
Yes,
or just a complete asshole.
Right.
Or D-bag.
Yes,
that's it. There's the only two things you could be.
Either men are allowed to be eye candy or they have to be the villain.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the main theme of all these movies like this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so deep in the industry right now. It even pans out into stuff like Star Wars, right? Where Rey's perfect, so all the guys around her have to just be not. She has to be better than them. It's completely unearned stuff. Same thing here. They have to be better than all the guys around them without earning any of it.
Yeah. Well, everyone makes fun of Kristen Wiig's character, right? Because she's slightly nerdy. And even though she's a scientist.
Yeah, but it's just, God, man, this movie's so bad. This movie is bad to the point it makes me angry that this thing exists. Somebody paid money to make this movie. All right,
it made money,
and they paid a lot of money to make this movie.
Yeah, it was like
like 150 million.
Yeah, 140 million, I think.
Yeah,
was the budget, and I mean, it made 220 something worldwide.
No, that's almost all together.
Yeah, total.
That's domestic and worldwide box office.
Worldwide total was 220.
Whereas at the time of recording, right now, Afterlife has already hit 100 million today.
Yeah,
and still going.
Which that movie deserves so much more.
It does.
All the characters are good. So Afterlife, it was just really enjoyable. Like everything, like all the characters were good. I liked how they tied everything together. I loved the little girl.
Yeah.
The little girl in this, she was just like this really just stoic, nerdy, like super intelligent, but just really flat and but they gave her all these really funny one-liners that just had me dying laughing.
Even that little girl's worst dad joke is better than any joke in 2016.
Oh, yeah.
Any joke.
Oh, yeah.
That includes all the stupid shit like pratfalls, fat jokes, and, oh my God, there was a pussy fart joke in the beginning of that movie. Fart jokes just aren't good enough anymore. We got to make a queefing joke.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, come on. And this is supposed to be a female empowerment movie? Get fucking real.
It's a family movie, bro.
Whatever.
The little girl's jokes are all very dark, though.
Yeah.
They're not really dad jokes, I'd say.
Well, it sounds to me like the person who wrote the script and wrote the jokes for the girl knew how to write fucking jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who wrote it, but it sounds to me like they knew how to write humor.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, not all their stuff works, but so much of it does that you forget the crap that doesn't. That's where you want to be at in a movie. That's a solid movie. It needs to win more than it loses. Right?
I don't think it lost very much. I enjoyed everything. The third act is pretty much the original movie.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You know, you saw the nostalgia. That's everything now, right?
Yeah. But they made it generational in a sense that it should have been, right? That it should have been the original remade over.
Yeah.
Like,
and it had enough changes and nuances that it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. And they didn't, big spoilers, by the way, but they didn't shit on their cameos.
No.
They used them well.
Yeah, they all came in and was a part of it. And they're
Like,
even
when the girl first made her phone call to Dan Aykroyd, he was just like, he took all of her proton packs, he took all of her shit and just robbed us and left, and he can rot in hell. Right? Real anger and tension with it. Life happened to this guy.
But then he found out that he's dead, and he let his grievances go.
Yeah.
And moved on, But they all did show up with their gear, so...
Yeah, they all showed up at the end to save the day.
They had their gear, which didn't, he said he took them all, but...
Well, they had time to rebuild, I guess.
I don't think they would rebuild them, right?
Why not? It was kind of their job still for a while, even though he took all their stuff.
Yeah.
But...
I think after we left, they were pretty much done.
Even after all the end stuff, you still had more good stuff with these characters. Like, basically going into how, like, Ernie Hudson's character has been just kind of bankrolling the rest of the guys this whole time because he's been a successful businessman after that. They gave him his first shot, and he just kept going and just accumulating more money and power over time. And as to pay back to that, he's paying like Dan Aykroyd's rent and crap like that. Yeah. I can't remember if he's doing anything for Bill Murray or not, but I'm sure he probably is.
I think Bill Murray said he was like a college teacher or something like that.
Yeah.
And so he was doing fine. So,
but they closed it with him being like, I'll always be a Ghostbuster at heart. And him like rebuying the firehouse and stuff like that. Trying to, basically a new start, a new beginning.
Yeah, they left it open for a reboot.
Right.
For a whole series reboot.
Yeah.
Which would be great. I'd hope that they would bring in these original characters.
Yeah.
The characters they brought
to continue to...
The grandchildren. Yeah.
I would hope...
develop them.
Yeah, I would hope they allow us... Like I said, I would hope they allow his granddaughter to keep developing. But I would also hope that they would keep doing good things with the legacy characters.
Yeah.
I felt like they did good things with these guys.
I was happy when they showed up.
Right.
Unlike the female crew, Ghostbusters, I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
Because they'd come in and just cash in a check and then leave.
Yeah. It's just, oh God, man. This movie legit makes me angry. 2016 legit makes me angry.
A lot of the jokes just fall flat. They're just wasn't funny.
They took people's money. And they knew. They knew what they were doing.
And the bad guy was so over the top.
The bad guy was some little incel dude that no one cares about.
He was pretty much every high school shooter.
Yeah.
That's
Really.
Like.
He's
been picked on by society the whole time, and now somehow, it never explains how, there's like zero backstory in any of this.
Right.
Of why he's been able to make these machines that manifest ghosts.
Right. Apparently he read Kristen Wiig's book and that was enough.
Yeah. Apparently, I guess she left all the diagrams inside of it and wrote it in her book. I don't know.
I don't
it didn't make
get
sense.
It. But essentially, he's just every little incel dude.
Yeah.
So...
And one day he wrote about ghosts. I was like, well, I'm just going to start an apocalypse.
Yeah. For no fucking reason.
And he was just so over the top, just generic evil.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All of it was so bad. All of it was so bad.
But Thor...
You know what?
He was right. I think there was a spark of genius in there. It was just a fish tank is a submarine for fishes. It's like, oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. That is literally the only thing I wrote down about that movie. Really? That is the only line I wrote down. Because I told you, I have written down what I consider to be the best joke in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's the throwaway joke of him looking at the aquarium and saying, well, an aquarium is just a submarine for fish. That's it.
That's brilliant.
That's the best joke in this movie.
I liked when he was like, oh, I took the lenses out of my glasses because they kept getting dirty.
And when you put that joke against any joke the girl tells,
yeah,
they're just skunked. No, it doesn't compare.
And it wasn't just us laughing. It was everyone in the theater. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people, of course, but it was still,
everybody loved
everyone loved it. Yeah, it was hilarious. We were all laughing.
Yeah. What do you call a dead polar bear? Really, anything you want. He can't hear you anymore. That is better than any fucking thing in 2016. Anything. Even all the, like I said, all the pratfalls, All the Melissa McCarthy fat jokes you want. Fucking Patty screaming at me for no fucking reason. Venkman giving blowjobs to her little, like, pistol fucking proton guns. Any of that.
I mean, these are just SNL actors. They're improv actors, and they have one range. They're always the same.
Right.
And it just never the same characters as they are in everything else. Like Kristen Wiig, I love a lot of these actors, but Kristen Wiig's always like the same, shy, timid, kind of rambles on. Even in Wonder Woman, she was the same character.
You know what's bad? That she was the best part of Wonder Woman.
She was.
By far.
Yeah. But she still has that same demeanor.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Melissa McCarthy was just generic herself.
Yeah.
Just ramble on, talks about nonsense. Kate McKinnon was just over the top silly.
Yeah.
And then, Leslie Jones was just generic black woman.
Yeah. That's not what you want your family movie to be. I mean, it really felt like when they wrote her character that they watched Tyler Perry movies and it's just like, oh, I can barely keep my guts in. This is so goddamn funny. No, it's not.
You might not laugh, but I don't really. That's not my cup of tea. But there's a lot of people that really enjoy Tyler Perry movies.
The jokes in 2016 go way too long. They overstay their welcome by a fucking mile.
I think the problem is there's a lot of things that don't even pay off.
Right.
A lot of the elements of the movie, like Kristen Wiig's character, the reason she got into Ghosts is because she had this traumatic experience of her neighbor tormenting her as a ghost and like standing at her bed every night for an entire year, and no one believed her and they just called her crazy, and they just never paid that off.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that because the character didn't give a shit about it.
Well, they just make fun of her and call her Ghost Girl, and that's all they bring that back. Oh, we're all Ghost Girl now.
Yeah.
But they never pay that off.
Yeah, no, ever.
None of the characters have any development. They don't do anything. They're the same shit.
And you can't tell me that one of the ghosts that they're going to go capture couldn't have been that.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been a moment where it's like, holy shit, that's what I was telling everybody about. That fucking shit right there.
Any tie-ins to their past.
Yeah.
No.
That would take writing and character development. Mm-hmm. And we ain't got time for that.
And I mean, Patty's character literally could have been in anything.
Yeah.
Any person.
Right.
She just happened to be there. So literally, she just has no significance on the crew at all.
Yeah, none.
She has a vehicle they can all four ride in.
And the rest of the characters don't even really seem to want her there.
Oh, yeah.
Am I wrong to feel that way?
Well, they don't. They're just like, why are you here? They don't need her.
They literally look at her and it's like, oh, the restaurant downstairs is closed.
Yeah.
No, you dumb bitches. I'm here to fucking give you a vehicle and be part of your team.
It's like, oh, well, I have like a 4-door sedan.
Ah, God, dude.
They didn't even use the ectoplasm one.
No.
They literally they ride around it once, and then that's it.
And then after that, Slimer and female Slimer.
Yeah.
Because we have to have a woman equivalent to Slimer.
And he's got to have a love interest, right?
Yeah. Got to pay that arc off.
Now we know what Slimer's been doing this whole time.
Fuck me, dude. It didn't have to be this bad. I would have been A-okay with a movie just being bad.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie really went out of its way to fucking insult me. And it's personal. Okay? I wish I could burn every fucking copy of this movie.
It doesn't just insult. It insults your childhood.
Yeah.
I probably, you'd never seen this movie. And it would have never come up. But Afterlife was so good. I was like, dude, you have to watch this movie. You have to watch the other reboot, the 2016. And just to see the difference.
Yeah.
Of what could have been.
So when they're talking about the power level of the proton packs, granted, the kids in 2016, the kids in Afterlife are kind of, doing their own thing with it.
Yeah.
So in 2016, it's fucking bullshit technobabble that makes no fucking sense.
Oh, yeah.
She's just slapping at it with a fucking pointer thing like, I put blah, 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 blah on it, and here's some jizz on it, too. I don't give a fuck. And
they try to be smart, but they're
fucking
just
stupid.
Saying nonsense.
They're just saying fucking nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the original movie, when they're in like that little elevator or whatever, and Ray's just basically just like, this is probably very unsafe since we're all just walking around with unlicensed nuclear reactors on our back.
Yeah.
And the other two dudes just take a step back as though taking a step back is going to save them from a fucking nuclear explosion.
Yeah. There again, there's no seriousness.
Yeah.
In like Aftermath, there's seriousness. These weapons are dangerous. They're going around destroying this town.
Yeah.
And
they get fucking arrested for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in 2016, they just laugh at it.
Yeah.
They make the joke. They make the same joke. Oh, this is a nuclear reactor. Don't shoot at it. But then they immediately start doing it.
Yeah.
And stupid shit.
Oh,
there's no real seriousness or consequences to anything they do.
The original movie, there was a seriousness to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was essentially kind of trying to be a legit ghost movie.
Yeah.
Kinda. But in the original movie, there was a legit seriousness to it. They were trying to be like a real ghost / horror movie. But the actors, I mean, they did have the comedic background too. So they were able to inject enough of a sense of humor and levity into this movie.
To lighten the mood.
Because
it was pretty much a horror movie.
Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck else do you say when you see a fucking 10,000-year-old demon standing in front of you on a rooftop? You just kind of, take a bite of that shit sandwich and just, laugh at life and maybe I won't die. Right?
It felt like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
You had, and this did not. 2016 did not.
No, 2016 was like...
It felt like a bad comedy.
It was a very bad comedy, and there was so much CGI. There's such an absurd level of CGI.
It didn't look bad.
It didn't look good, though. That's the thing. There was... of course there was CGI in Afterlife.
Yeah.
Because how else are you going to do ghosts, right? But it wasn't over the top with it.
No.
Do you feel like there was a point in Afterlife where it just jizzed CGI at you like 2016 did?
No.
Me neither. Not at all. We had fucking like Gozer and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it never felt like that.
No. And even like Paul Rudd's character was great.
Yeah.
Even with like the blatant advertising, with like him going to Walmart and getting Baskin Robbins.
Yeah.
It was still hilarious.
Yeah.
That scene really wouldn't work because all the appliances and stuff are plugged in and like turn on. And that would never happen at Walmart.
The only part of Afterlife that started to wear on me after a while was the mother's over-the-top hatred of her father. That started to wear on me after a while. But it's not something I don't understand.
Yeah, I can understand it. I think it took her a long time to come around.
Yeah.
A little bit too long.
Yeah. For me, it took her character too long to come around when you can obviously see what the fuck's going on around you.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the weakest part of Afterlife.
She just kind of walking around with blinders in that house, it felt like.
Yeah.
It was oblivious to what's actually happening.
Yeah. And boom, that's it. That is the weakest part.
Mm-hmm.
Still a fucking amazing movie.
It was great. I loved it.
The weakest part of 2016? The entire fucking movie. Everything. I literally looked at you whenever in the fucking first minute of this movie and said, "Oh, that was supposed to be a joke." When the fucking tour guide is walking them through the house talking about like the grandfather clock. Oh yeah, this is off the Titanic, and they had to like toss a woman and a child overboard just to put this clock onto the lifeboat. I'm just like, oh, that was supposed to be a joke.
I think that was supposed to be more of like, oh, this is the fact.
This is the room where P.T. Barnum decided to enslave elephants. I'm just like, oh, that was supposed to be a joke. Damn, I wish I could have laughed at it.
Of course, nothing in this movie has anything to do with the rest of it. There's no payoffs at all. It kind of
not at all.
But I don't know. We're just kind of going in circles now.
Yeah. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie, dude.
I'm sorry I made you watch it.
But
you understand.
You didn't make me watch it. All right? They made this piece of shit. Okay? They made the world watch it. And it's a shit stain on them. They can never distance themselves from this fucking abomination they made. I mean, we have a worthy reboot now.
Yeah. But I hope this is successful. But when you successful enough to reboot.
When you look at the numbers that the reboot's doing, it would be doing better had this not existed.
For sure.
Right now, like I said, the reboot is today cleared $100 million at time of recording domestically during a fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
2016 couldn't clear $100 million domestically with nothing fucking going on.
Yeah.
No problems at all.
It definitely, I think it left a sour taste on a lot of people's mouths to where they looked at this and was like, oh, this is going to be dumb too.
Yeah. Had I had watched this with you back in 2016, we would not have fucking wasted our time with Afterlife. I guarantee you that. I wouldn't have went and saw Afterlife. I would have said, fuck it. Now, I sincerely mean that. We would not have wasted our time with it. And that would have been all this movie's fault.
I watched it. I want to give it a chance, though. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You can see, just even in the trailer, that it was going to have more to do with the original.
Yeah.
And that's all we wanted.
Yeah. We're not writing Shakespeare here, guys.
No.
Give fans what they want.
Yep.
They want satisfying conclusions to their characters. They want story arcs that make sense. They want character development that makes sense. They want to see ghosts.
Yeah.
Right?
We want some of that old nostalgia with some new tech and new characters and good comedy.
Yeah.
And they gave us that.
The formula's not hard.
No.
This movie sincerely makes me angry. It really does. Like I said, if it never existed, Afterlife would be doing so much better. And the more eyes we can get on Afterlife, the better the world will be. By far. But, man, that's... My heart is filled with rage. I do. I feel rage. Like legit rage. I wanted to go to work today and punch every woman I saw. I really felt that.
I don't feel that upset. I understand. It's
like, no, fuck it. It's all of them. It's all of them. I just want to walk through the store, punch every woman I see, and they know why. They know why.
This is Ghostbusters.
They would just look at me and like, we know. I'm sorry.
No, whatever.
But for the love of God, please watch Afterlife.
Yep.
Please watch Afterlife.
I think that's about all we can say is
if it's on a streaming service, fucking support them.
Yeah, go check out Afterlife.
If it's still in theater, fucking go watch it. Afterlife needs your love. Because it's got this shit stain on its boot and it's trying to scrape it off. But I gotta breathe.
I think that's about all we have to say about it. I don't think anything else you can think of.
No, there's nothing else I can really think of. No, nothing else. No, I don't really have anything else to say about it. Afterlife clearly speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So
and there you go.
There you go.
We're not going to do any type of meter or rating or anything. We're just going to let it speak for itself. Go watch Afterlife.
Yes.
Forget this other movie existed.
Yes. I can't forget it. It's burned into my soul now.
Unless you just want to be angry that day, you can watch it.
Dog.
But yeah, so
just make sure to let us know in the comments below what y'all think of it, because I'm really interested to hear what other people think of Afterlife.
I'd love a female's perspective on 2016 Ghostbusters too.
Yeah, maybe. I think y'all said everything you had to say with 2016.
This movie does not represent female as a whole. Okay,
no, it does not. No, I don't know any women that like that movie.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know a lot of people that I've talked to about it, but I remember when the movie coming out, I know just in general, all the critics were just like, "Oh, it was great. It was great. It's hilarious.
Please don't kill us.
Women are funny. Get over it." But anyways, this has been another episode from the Misfits of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Derek, and with my co-host, Danny. And like, subscribe, and comment.
Yep. Make sure you hit us up on the Facebook and the Twitters.
All the tweets.
And
we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you later, guys.
Bye.